Good morning from Maine. This isn't going to be a very long video log, and I apologize for any background noise. Um, I just wanted to sit down this morning. I'm trying to get myself in um, the habit of doing a video of some kind whenever I have a moment to myself. So today the house is relatively quiet, so gonna get into it. Today I want to talk about selling jewelry on Facebook. And this could apply to a lot of different areas of selling on Facebook, but I particularly want to look at jewelry because that's my area of expertise, I guess you could say. I've had my exclusive, just exclusively jewelry group up on Facebook for 2 years now. I just finished my second year of bookkeeping on that. And so trying to think of where to start. Now, if you know how to make a group on Facebook, that's where you start with selling jewelry on Facebook. Um, you also want to think about, and some people will already have the answer to this, what if you want to specialize within jewelry, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can either just sell handmade jewelry that you yourself make. You can just sell vintage jewelry. You can just sell high-end vintage jewelry. You can just sell sterling and gold. You can just sell modern sterling and gold. So there's a lot of different areas because jewelry is a very broad spectrum. Now, I don't specialize. I source from many different places, and I don't like to kind of put myself in a corner like that. Now, with jewelry being such a broad spectrum, the knowledge base that you have to have when looking for things to sell and when describing it and putting it up for sale is also broad. So it takes a very long time to kind of acquire that information. But if you don't want to, if you want to start selling jewelry on Facebook tomorrow, you can. There are groups. There are so many groups on Facebook that are information groups that you can post something that you have a question about, and they'll help you. There are so many groups on Facebook that are jewelry based that people talk about jewelry that are just for that. There are websites online. You can do your research. You can look things up on eBay. You can look things up in so many different places to kind of get an idea of what you're looking at and how much to ask for it. Etsy is another great resource. There's just so many. Illusion Jewels has a great website for vintage jewelry identification, and I will try to remember to put the link to that under my video because a lot of people know about it and a lot of people use it. There are people out there that just specialize in Sarah Coventry, vintage Sarah Coventry, or just vintage Avon. That's their thing, and they collect it, they sell it, they do all of that. Like I said, I don't specialize. I If it's jewelry, I'll sell it. I have it up there. Um, I do notice and this is the thing about another thing about selling jewelry on Facebook, selling anything on Facebook really is that you really get to know your customers and you get return customers. And it's like having an actual store in a lot of sense because there is a ton of customer service that you have to do. And that has its upside and that has its downside. Okay. Some people are very cut and dry. They will message you and they'll say, there'll be a link to the item and they say, I want this. I want only this. Please invoice me PayPal. Here's my email address. Those are the easy ones. And those are the people that I really enjoy. And then it's a very easy transaction. You invoice them. You have the entire item description, in your invoice through PayPal. What I usually do is I copy and paste it. It makes it very simple. You send it out, they pay it like that day, and you ship it out the next day. That is the simplest, easiest transaction you can possibly hope for to ever find on Facebook. Then there are other people, and I appreciate these people. I really do. Okay. Not to say that I do not appreciate them, but they're a little bit more high maintenance in the sense that you have to sit with them, you have to help them find things on your group, you have to talk to them for hours sometimes. Um, and some of these people, if they bought from me before, I let them shop for like a week, or, uh, only if they bought from me before. There has to be a one time purchase where it went smoothly, at least, before I will do that. And, sometimes what happens is you spend all this time. Even if they bought from you like 10, 12, 15 times before, and it's been some nice, smooth transaction, the 16th time, the 21st time, something happens and they can't complete the transaction. And they don't come back and buy from you again. And it's not your fault. It's just, like, for instance, I had one who, I don't know if I want to go into the details about it, but her ability to pay changed. Something came up with her bills and with her ability to use PayPal. So she hasn't bought from me since then. So there's that. You have people who will buy from you steadily month after month, and then they drop off for 6 months and then they come back. Those kind of things you'll find. And you get so that you recognize when you get something in, which is a great thing, okay, which is great for people buying on Facebook. I'll get something in and I'll say, I know who will like that, okay, and I will post it, and I'm pretty sure that they'll notice it. If they don't, sometimes I'll message them and say, hey, I got this in and I thought maybe you might be interested. Some people like that, some people don't. You have to be careful with that. But yes, um, you can spend 3 hours late into the night one night working with somebody, getting a massive, like, $100, $200 order together for jewelry, and they message you the next day and are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I changed my mind. I don't want any of it at all." Okay, so that can happen with Facebook selling. That's the downside. Um, so there is that. Another thing is that most Facebook jewelry selling happens late at night. I don't know what it is. If people they can't sleep, they get on Facebook, they start looking through things, and they start wanting things that they see. So most of that happens late at night. Most of my big sales I've made overnight. Um, and it's not like eBay or Etsy where you can go to sleep and you can dream your dreams and the next morning you'll have sales. No, there is no babysitter. You are it. You are the customer service. You are all of that. So there are some nights I don't get to bed till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then have to get up the next morning at 6. And the kid has to go to school. I have homework because I go to school full time myself. I'm a student, and and I have things that I have to do. So there is that. The afternoon nap is almost mandatory on that one. Um, so yes, there is kind of a scheduling deal. A lot of people sell, I've noticed, on eBay and Etsy, and then they just use Facebook supplementally. Um, and that's okay too. That's okay. My focus was Facebook from the beginning. It was Facebook. I have noticed that I've started selling on eBay a little bit and Etsy, and my sales have gone up in the jewelry. So that's good. But I prefer to focus on Facebook and supplement with eBay and Etsy. That's my preferred way, because you can't post every single thing that you get in on eBay and Etsy. There just aren't enough listings. It's too expensive. You get something in. I get a lot of necklaces and things, and I'll post them on my Facebook group for $5 each, and they usually sell. And then in the summer, I have like a 50% off sale, so sometimes I'll sell for like $2.50 on sale. Okay, but I got them in a massive lot. You know what I mean? A massive lot, and I sold like 5 of them, and the lot was paid for. So 5 of them, 10 of them, whatever, and the lot was paid for. So there are situations like that you can sell something. Like I have earrings right now that are up for sale for 3 for $1. Um, and that's just to kind of move them along because there are a lot of them, and they're kind of hanging out. So you can do those kind of things on Facebook group that you can't do in on eBay or Etsy. Not to say that you can't put things on sale, you can't give discounts, but you can't, move products like that. So there is that. Trying to think what else I want to talk about. I'm sure there's tons. There's posting on other groups in order to get traffic to your group or to sell individual pieces. There's so much that we could talk about that, and the rules of other admins and how to tiptoe around them. Um, but I think I'll start with that information that if you want to sell on Facebook, you have to be really dedicated to it, and it is time consuming, especially when you first start out, because there is listing, 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 listing. And when you list, you don't have to be as detail oriented, as specific as eBay and Etsy. These are your rules. This is your show. This is nobody else's show. And you can make the listing as detailed as, or as not as detailed as you want it. I recommend having really good pictures. I recommend showing front and back of the piece. And I recommend length of the drop on an earring, the length of the chain on a necklace, and material. You have to mention what kind of material everything is made of. And that's pretty much what you need to list in a piece of jewelry in a Facebook group. You can put more, you can put less. I wouldn't recommend less, but you can put more than that if you want, but you don't really need to. That's all the information that someone really needs in order to make that purchase. If they themselves need more information for their purpose, because it's caveat emptor, buyer, make sure that it fits their needs, and they ask you a question, then you answer them. So that's where that customer service comes in, of answering people's questions, sitting and talking to them, helping them, tagging them on an item that they might like, because they tell you. Like I had a woman tell me, I like anything with horses. I like anything that's a cami. I like certain things, and so I went in and I found these things and I tagged her on them. Sometimes that works out really well, and you can get a large order quickly that way, and sometimes not so well because people are like, no, that's not what I meant. Like I had a really broad. This woman said that she liked leaves. Well, I have a lot of stuff with leaves, but I wasn't really sure what she particularly liked. Did she like them stylized? Did she like them, realistic? So, and that's the kind of thing you have to kind of ask more questions. Well, do you wear pins? Do you prefer clip-on earrings? Do you like them pierced? Do you? So, but that's pretty much everything I have to talk about today. I will get more into selling on Facebook. I'm not going to give away all my secrets, but I will talk more about the things to look out for and the things that need to be done, that should be done, if you're going to do it successfully. Successfully. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a good day from Maine.